Alright, yeah, I'm working on this 1930 FH Briggs again, and what I did was I actually took the backing plate here off of the part of the shroud, because I had to fit it to this, because like I said earlier in an earlier video, you know, the pop metal, you know, sort of twists and bends over the years and swells, and you know, so sometimes you get stuff that rubs, and that's what we had, especially with the, you know, the repair we had here. So and the repair here, I can't even see where it was because I have black marker on here. But anyway, I smoothed all that out, and even the back here, I smoothed out some areas, you know, where it seemed to be hitting, and it wouldn't even fit in here. But now at least I got it to fit in here, which is good. And what I did is I put the crankshaft over in the vise, and I put this on there, and then put the flywheel on, bolted it on, and then spun this around, because this is actually held by the engine, you know, so it doesn't fit flush like that. It sits off, and the only way I could simulate that was with gravity. So I'll take you over that and show you what we did. Alright, here we got the crankshaft in the vise here, and then I have these put two screws in the bottom here just so I can grab it and twist it and stuff. So I put that on there. This actually don't spin. This is attached to the block, but this is the only way we can make this work. I'm right here. I'm gonna go nowhere. And then we'll put the flywheel on. I didn't put a key in there. We don't really need it right now. And then we'll bolt that down. I think I put the nut on upside down, but it's okay. It's okay. What'd you do with your wrench? There we go. Okay, we cranked up on it. So now it's solid. Now what I did is, you can see underneath here, I'm spinning the thing and you can't hear it. So I know it's not rubbing on anything. Okay, so that's all fine. You know, I spent about 2 hours on this, and I had a one rub in one area, and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And let me take you off of here, and I'll show you what was going on. It's driving me crazy. All right, like I said, I had everything was running nice. I kept hearing one spot that kept rubbing, and I couldn't figure it out. And then I finally figured it out. And it was these little nubs on the end, you know, where the screws go. Matter of fact, even out of the factory, this one here is flattened out. And this edge here is flattened out. And then I seen like a tiny little rub spot on it. I said, oh, let me see that. So then I just took a file and, you know, went around, cleaned all of them up real light like, and put it in, and it was perfect. So you never know what it is. You know, you think you make a repair and you think it's going to come from that area, but it's not. I got a mind to put everything back together, rivet this back on there, and don't even worry about this black magic marker here. This is what I was using, Sharpie Magnum. They're pretty good. It's like using Dykem or something. But anyway, that's okay. Now what we got to do is let me get this out of the way. Let me grab the coil. I cleaned the coil up while you guys weren't looking. I have to do a lot of stuff sometimes when you guys aren't looking, you know. I just don't have time to film it. But this cleaned up pretty well. And let me get this here, push this out of the way, and put this on. You see this goes on the bottom, this will go on the right, and the spark plug connection goes up top. So these little studs right here, there's two holes in the middle here, right here, and they go on here. I was looking at this coil. See, now this, for some reason this ain't fitting. We'll figure that out. But what I was looking at, this had some hacksaw marks here, so somebody must have hacksawed it off of another engine, or another back plate, because this one here is just the way it's supposed to be. So let's see what's going on here. Put one side in at a time. Okay, that one's working well. Let's try this side. Okay. There's your problem, sir. Alright. I'm gonna ream this side out. They must have had problems with the other one too, because that's why they sawed that off. Alright, let me ream that out, and so we get that just slip on there, and then we'll bolt it up. Alright, I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, have a seat here. I figure how this goes. This is the bottom again, okay. Alright, yeah, I took a ream, and we reamed that out. I actually reamed out both sides. So, they're pretty good now. Now this goes this way here. This is a pretty tight fit. There we go. There we go. It's just about there. Here we go. Sounds like it's pretty snug. We bolt it down. Okay, bear with me. It's only take a minute or so. Crank it down. Remember, we're going to take this off again later, but we just want to see if anything's going to be rubbing. And with all the experience I've had with these, they've always rubbed. So got our Sharpie Magnum here again, and what I'm going to do is, instead of putting it on to see if it rubs, I'm going to assume it rubs. And where you guys at? I'm going to put some magic marker on this. That way when it rubs, we'll see exactly where it's rubbing. Might not have to do too much work. But like I say, you always have to do something with these. 100 years old. These are good to have around. I'll put a link in the description for you guys. They're only a couple bucks. Alright. What do you say? I see you over there at the vise. Alright. Let's put the backing plate on there. And flywheel. Let me get the flywheel. I'm still here. Oh, you know what? It's easier if you find out where the magnets are at, and then put it on this way. That way nothing starts grabbing or pinching. There we go. I try to stay out of your way. Sometimes it's tough. Okay, I'm going to crank up on it, but not a whole lot. Let's turn the wheel. Oh, alright. I'm feeling a little bit of rubbing. I don't know, can you guys hear that? Sort of grabbing and rubbing. Not much. You know, enough to make it hard to start, but there we go. It's actually only in one spot. Right there. I can't see nothing, so I'm going to keep spinning this and try and make a good mark on that, and we'll take the top off and see what's rubbing. Alright, we spun that around a little bit. Now we'll see if we can see where it's rubbing. I say it was rubbing, but it wasn't rubbing a whole lot. Okay. All right. All right. It's actually, I don't know if you guys can see that. Rubbing right on the back half, so that's not bad at all. And on this side, same thing. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. Rubbing a little more down here. But not bad at all. So I should be able to clean that up. Sorry, I'm looking at myself. I do that a lot, don't I? Alright. I should be able to clean that up just with a file. Alright, let me bring it over to the bench and we'll play with it a little bit. Alright. I actually cleaned it up with the Dremel, you know, the drum. And that was made it smoother and a lot faster. So we'll see how we did. We'll put some magic marker on there so we can see if there's anything. I took some off, but I didn't get crazy, you know. You don't want to take more than you have to. And what I also did is I also cleaned up the magnets, you know, because I think what was hitting was there's a little edge right here, you know, and that's pot metal, and that's probably what was sticking out and hitting everything. So I cleaned the magnet up. Not too bad. So let's see how it looks. Whoops. All right. Wish me luck. Oh, I hear a tiny little rub. That's not bad. And over here, well, over here we got a rub too. So. All right. Much better, but it's funny. It goes one direction. It goes pretty good. You know, you can feel it rubbing a little bit, but not bad. And then you go the other direction, and well, not too bad. Yeah, the whole thing's not too bad. All right, I'm going to spin that around, and so I get a good mark, and we'll bring it over to the bench and see what's going on. Let's take it off and see where it was rubbing. Trial and error. That's what you got to do. All right. Wow. Yeah, still rubbing on this one side here. Can you guys see that? So we'll just have to take that down. This side was much better. This side just got a tiny little abrasion. All right, well that's what it's all about. Testing here, testing there. All right, let me clean this up and we'll try it again. All right, yeah, we put it together again here, and I put some black on there, and we got a slight little rub, very slight. You see, it spins and everything. You know, if I put this on the block, because right now, you know, this thing here on the bottom is floating around, and I'm just holding it, trying to hold it flat as possible, and you know, I'm doing a pretty good job at that. But you know, on the block it may be fine, but yeah, it's a pain in the neck to put it on there because it's always tough to get that backing plate off. But we'll see where this is rubbing. I'm going to keep at it until I get it right, and then when it's right, we'll turn you back on. You don't have to keep seeing me try it and test it and fit it and try it and test it. So that's it. Trials and tribulations. It's just what it takes. All right. All right. Yeah, we're happy with this. It's not rubbing or nothing, and it took me about 3 or 4 times, you know, to take it on and off and everything. Matter of fact, I didn't put the key in the keyway to make sure it was indexed and it was right where it was going to be, you know. So well, I think it'll be all right. It'll be fine. And if it rubs while it's on there, then we'll fix it while it's on the engine, right? All right, I'm going to go have some dinner. I don't know when I'll see you guys next. Alright, I'll see you when I see you. Alright, it's been a couple days now, and I riveted the back plate back onto this the shroud plate back onto the back plate here, so we're good to go. Sorry about the bad reflections here, but that's the silver, and I can't do much about that. But we're ready to put the points in, and before I do that, we have this. This was the spark plug wire here, and it's in pretty sad shape. So I want to replace that first. You know, I could replace it. I got plenty of black wire here to replace it with, but if you look closely here on the end, it's sort of like an orange cloth, and that's how they were made back then, you know. So you want to try and keep it looking original. And I had some of this reproduction wire here, but I don't have enough of it. It's got to go into this. Let me turn this over here. It's got to go into this little hole here, you know, and that goes inside the machine here and hooks right up to your coil. But like I say, I don't have enough of this. But what I did find was some bigger stuff. And the average person couldn't tell, you know, by looking at it. And if they're not side by side like this, you can't tell. You know, I think one's 7mm, one's 9mm. But the problem is the bigger wire won't fit in that hole. But if I take some of the cloth off, I can squeeze it in there. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take maybe about 5 inches of the cloth off of this and cut it to shape, cut it to the size, and I'm going to try and save this. This is the original connector here, so we'll clean that up. We'll take that off, clean it up, and solder it on. So let me do that. Let me make up a wire, and then we'll put the points in, and this backing plate will be ready to just slap on. Alright, we'll see you when that's done. Alright, let me catch us up here. I made the wire and soldered the end on here, and it came out nice. I'm happy. And also, I changed this wire back here. Here's the original wire, and I wanted to keep that, you know, because it was cloth, and it was in good shape, you know. But then I was looking at it, and I was thinking I got to solder that. I got to solder that to the points inside here. And this thing was saturated in oil and stuff like that, and I'm thinking, you know, I'm going to catch hell trying to solder that, so I just said, the heck with it. You're not going to see it, you know, it goes between the engine and the plate here, but, you know, that actually goes in, I'll try to keep you guys in focus here. It comes up through this little hole here, and then the points actually go on here. So, let's see what we got here. We'll send this spark plug wire in. Okay. So it's a little tight, but not bad. You see, so you're never gonna know that there's black there, and that goes. Like I said, I'm gonna try to keep you guys in view here. That goes down here. This is where the points go. That's your kill switch. That goes there, and this attaches, goes through the hole there, and just wraps around. And then you actually have this little clip here that holds that spark plug wire in place right there. So you're not gonna be able to yank that out. That's gonna be steadfast in there. So that's where all that goes. Also, what I want to do is just temporary. I put these screws in here. I don't know if you can see, but they're Phillips head screws, and they work fine and everything. And I can keep them there, and nobody would know. And what difference would it make, right? But here are the original flathead slotted screwdrivers. I guess they're pan head, round head, and I'm going to change them. I'm going to put them in there, but I'm going to do it one at a time because I don't want to move this coil, not even a fraction of an inch, you know, because it's I got it all cut in place. So I'm gonna replace one at a time. But anyway, let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, before we start, here's the original. They call them condensers back then, you know, but condenser, capacitor are all the same. And that sits in these two holes right here. and it would sit here thusly. And you know what? While I got that out, let's see what we got here. We got a bag. Tim sent me a bag full of parts here, and it's all points. There we go. So it's been a while since I've had one of these apart or even looked at it, and we'll try and figure out how everything goes. It's not tough to figure out. You know, you got a lot of parts have to be insulated. I try to keep looking up at you guys so you can hear me. I know when I bend my head down and look at stuff, you can't hear me too well. But anyway, you got this insulator here, and sometimes when you get parts and you see the way that's it's got a little edge cut off and stuff like that, they don't do that for no reason. So to me, that would let me get this out of the way. Pull this back. Can you guys see this here? Okay. Looks to me like this would go here, and that little edge would be so that it wouldn't hit the flywheel. Then, where's all our parts here? Alright, we'll get our screw, put that washer on there. Process of elimination here. Actually, get a lock washer. Then we'll put a washer on. Okay, see, we're running out of parts already. And now, okay, this here's the bottom half of your points, and there's a little insulator, it looks like right here, will fit in between these two little pieces here. There we go. So that's going to insulate that screw. And here's a little square piece. So I would imagine this goes like this, and then you got the square piece, and then you got the screw. But already I'm seeing a problem. Okay, to make that hole line up, I'm going to have to shave this end off here about a 100th of a millimeter, just so it can slide. It's going to have to slide. Well, no, that one don't slide. But anyway, so I get that hole centered, and then that'll take care of all of that. See, with all that on there, like this on there, and then your insulator. This here, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little piece of solder right here, and it's not very much. So I'm going to have to put a bigger blob of solder on there, because what happens is your kill switch gets soldered to that. Then your capacitor condenser would go like this, and then that would solder up to that little thing. And this here, that goes to your coil, it's like a 16 too short, would solder up to this. So they all solder, all these wires solder up to a positive right here. But here's our problem, right? No matter what you do, you're always going to run into a problem. This capacitor condenser, right? It's 90 years old, and it's supposed to be, I think, 22.22 microfarads, and you're gonna be reading this upside down. But anyway, and these are good meters. See these? If you guys do anything, everything electronic has capacitors in it. All engines have them in it. All motors, electrical motors have them in it. Radios, and I mean, you name it, they have capacitors in it. So it's good to get a meter like this. It's only about $15. I think I paid $13 for this, but that was a while ago. But anyway, I digress. And it's easy to check them too, right? This is supposed to be 0.22 microfarads. So, yeah, microfarads. So I put it on 20, and we'll see what goes here. You just ground one side out, and then you put this on positive, and we're coming up with 0.52, 53. Can you guys see that? Like I say, you're reading it upside down. So it's half a microfarad there. No good. No good for us. So I got dozens of them here. I got dozens of capacitors here, you know, for small engines. And I'm looking through there, and I came across, these are modern ones, so they look a little different. I came across this one that had a nut and a bolt on the end here on the positive, and I said, oh, that's cool. And then I put it in here. Let me get this out of the way. You're going to love this. You know, I don't need two of these now. I just need one hole. So I put it in here, and it lines up with that hole, and it fits in here. It went in like it had eyes. I was all giddy. I got all giddy like a little schoolgirl. So I said, let me check that. Let me see what's going on. So I got my meter here, my little $13 meter, and it's still set on. It's still turned on. And we check the negative here, and then we check the positive, and it's only 0.15, 0.15, so it's not what I'm looking for. I don't know if this is no good or it's weak or that's what it is. I'm assuming it might be just a point, you know, 0.15 microfarad capacitor. So I got all excited for nothing. So then I found a new one here and checked it out. Matter of fact, I'll check it out for you. It says, it's printed right on the side here, 0.22. You can't see it, but I can. 0.22 microfarads. And then we check it out, and it's dead nuts on. You see that? I know you get a glare once in a while. So we're going to use that. We're just going to have to reroute the wires and maybe extend a few of these wires. Let's bring it around here and I'll show you what my plan is. Alright, so that's going to be out of the way. And this is going to be up here. So it would be nice. I'm going to have to bend this up a little bit, put it in upside down. And what I'll do is I'll just bring this yellow wire up here and cut it and bring it up there. And then this black wire, I'll put an extension on and run that all the way up there. You know? It's a shame. You know what? I was also going to put, because this wire here, this is a cloth wire, and it looks good, but just for fun, so it didn't ground out anywhere, I was going to put a piece of shrink tube on there. And then what I'll do is I'll just bring it up. So that's what we do. Alright, I showed you how this one side goes on. This is interesting. Alright, let's pretend an insulator's down here. And this here's your points. Your plug wire gets held down out of the way with this. And then these are your points. They just sit on here. And your crankshaft goes through there, and it goes up and down like that. Pretty interesting. And you got a little spring. Little spring goes in this hole here. I'm not supposed to. Here we go. Alright. That goes in there, and then it just sits on this little titty. And that little titty, let me get this out of your way for now. We've got too much stuff in our way here. Okay. And this spring, it's funny, nothing holds these on. There we go. And that goes down there, and that keeps tension on it. You know, and that's it's notched under there. That little titty has a notch in it, so that'll keep it from coming off. Interesting setup. So, alright, let me cut some wires and maybe attach some of the stuff. Also, I don't know if you guys remember saying, but when you put these spark plugs in, you don't solder them. You just stick them through there, and then you wrap this wire around, and then squeeze it, and that's the only thing that holds it, and it works. Worked like that for years. So let me put a few of these parts on there, and we'll get back to you. Alright, before I start soldering, I found something interesting here you guys might like. I found an original point for the FH, and I don't know if you can see it, but the metal is thicker, and it's got this big hunk of metal sticking out here. You know, they actually shaped it. I don't know if you can see it. I'll put it down here. I don't know if you can see it better. But anyway, it's got this big hunk of metal, and look at that big blob of solder. You know, you got plenty to solder to around like that. You know, a lot of people complain about aftermarket parts because, you know, they're never as good as the original, but you know, you don't know how lucky you are. You can get something like this. So I'm not complaining. You just anytime you get an aftermarket part, you always have to modify it somehow, and that's not that big a deal. So I thought you'd find that interesting. Look at these points. These points ain't bad at all. The original ones. Okay. Alright, let me solder them up and we'll start doing some work. Alright. Yeah. Alright, you know what? I'll leave a link in the description for you guys. You don't know how much you need one of these till you have one. Capacitor tester. So let me put that aside there. And let me show you what we're doing here. Alright. Here's my angle vise. See this angle vise here? I paid 20 bucks for that. Man, that thing's like brand new. Even still has the little indicator on the side. You don't know what you're going to come across when you go to these flea markets. Alright. Yeah, what I did is, well, before I show you that, let me show you this. Alright. We got all the parts in here, the capacitor, and I soldered this up over here, put a blob of solder, or solder for my British and Australian subscribers. So we got that all in and everything, and it fits nice. So then what I did is I put the crankshaft in the vise here, and I taped it up. Don't get excited. I heard you guys, some of you guys say, oh geez. I taped it up so it's not scarring or anything. And then I put this on the crank there, gotta find it, and here we go, and adjusted our points there to 20 thousandths. You know what, let me, here we go. I was gonna say it didn't fit in there, but I didn't have it going straight. You know what, let me take you off the tripod there and show you a little closer, because some younger subscribers asked for me to explain things a little better, because you know, they're not familiar with this kind of stuff. You know, it's second hand to all this guy that works on engines all the time. Hold on, whoa, hold on. All right, so like I was saying, here are the points over here, and they got to open and close. That's what gives you your spark. And I was able to adjust them because on the side here there's a flat spot on the crankshaft, and I'm going to spin the backing plate, but usually the crankshaft is what spins. And then when that little thing there touches, it closes in points there. So you see now they're closed, and then when it comes around to the round part, see them? They're just opened. Close, open. Alright, so now this backing plate's all ready to go on the engine. I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to check the points after we put it on the engine, because you know, these things aren't, when you have them flopping around like this, some things aren't as accurate as they should be, but we're happy with it. This came out nice. Get it off here again. And the wires on the back come out, and they stay out of the way. They just get tucked behind the engine, between the engine and that plate. So that's going to be okay. So there we go. I guess we'll end this here, and we'll start something on the next video. But I want to thank all the subscribers there that hang in there and watch these videos. I appreciate that, and all the help I get from the patrons, and other people too, because other people send me a lot of stuff. All the little stuff helps. So I guess we'll see you guys in the next one, huh? All right. I'm going to find us a thumbnail, but you guys don't have to see that. So we'll see you in the next one. Alright, enough of this. Alright, before we go, I got to show you guys I taped it, or else I'll get all kinds of comments. There we go. Alright.